And everyone knows from the last episode, I talked about Justin Roiland. He's completely out. He's out of Rick and Morty. He's out of Adult Swim. He's out of Squanch Games, which is his gaming company, because Squanch was a character in Rick and Morty, and they just did High on Life video game, which he's the voice of. He's out on that. He's out on Hulu. He was doing Solar Opposites. He's out on everything. So I'm pretty sure what he did, that whatever they say he did, he did. All these companies are getting rid of him and throwing them the boot. And he deserves it. You know, you can't beat women. You can't kidnap women and beat women. You can't have these moments. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one has that right. And this is unrelated, but there's this serial rapist who's like, he's a fucking kid, but he just got sentenced in 6 life sentences yesterday in St. Louis. He's not going to be eligible for parole till he's 105. You can't do shit and think you're going to get away with it. And that's how and that's what equality is. That's how it should be across the board. No matter who you are, if you do wrong, you get the justice, you get the swift arm of justice. And then what people fight for, which we're going to talk about later with the Memphis cops, is that, also you can't give punishments unjustly. You know what I mean? So we'll talk about that too. But Justin Roiland is out. Rick and Morty said they're going to continue because if you're a fan, you know that they signed a 70 episode contract and they're only in year like 1 of that. But in the conversations about it, there is a TikToker. I forgot his name. I've been following him for since I've been on TikTok. But his name is on TikTok is Morty Says. He's an impersonator for Rick and Morty. Like, he does impersonations and he's really good. So now I love the fact that now that this news is hit, everyone is like adding Adult Swim and Dan Harmon and like, hey, this is your guy. And I was just watching on IGN a YouTube video about how like they're going to be fine. And they talked about Morty Says. So I personally hope that he gets the job because he is so good at the impressions. And he, obviously he loves Rick and Morty. So like this would be a dream come true for him. And for us as fans, we don't want to lose too much of the voice of Rick and Morty. Unfortunately, Justin Roiland did the voices for Rick and Morty and other characters. So like there's going to be a hit there. But like if we can just soften the blow with someone who sounds similar, that'd be absolutely best case scenario. I'm very happy that I don't have to get my tattoo covered because Dan Harmon and Adult Swim and everyone else who works on the show, they did the right thing. And the show does not hinge on Justin Roiland. There's a lot of people who contribute to the show. There's a lot of people who made that show successful. It wasn't just Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland. It was a team of people, a huge team of people. So shout out to all of them for getting it right when it comes to holding someone accountable and keeping the ship going, keeping the fans happy, keeping it alive. Now, there are a few seasons ahead already as far as production. So we won't even see this falling out until years from now, to be completely honest. But it'll be interesting to see what happens to revisit in a few years and see if the voice change is even noticeable or what they do. The good thing about the show is also they don't take itself too seriously, so it could totally change voices and that's kind of part of the meta, So good riddance, Justin Roiland. I mean, obviously innocent until proven guilty, but it seems pretty damning, especially with those text messages that were easily available if you do a Google search on the inappropriate things he was saying to underage women. Weird, man. Some guys are just weird and they don't deserve platforms, and that's what accountability is.
Rent free. Rent free. Rent free. Lives in your head rent free. Lives in your head rent free.